serene, sun-drenched waters of the Laconic Gulf in southern Greece lies a secret that fundamentally challenged our entire understanding of early urban civilization and its unexpected sophistication. In the remarkably clear autumn of 1967, a young and persistently curious oceanographer named Nick Fleming made a completely accidental discovery that would irrevocably rewrite the accepted history of the ancient Mediterranean world. He had been conducting a routine geological survey of the Mediterranean seafloor's composition near the small, unassuming fishing village of Pavlopetri when he noticed something unusual. From the tranquil surface, the water appeared perfectly clear and largely unremarkable, revealing only shifting sandy patches and forests of dark green seaweed swaying with the current. But when Fleming finally dove beneath the shimmering surface, his eyes were met with a sight that defied all logical explanation and archaeological expectation. Stretching across the sandy seabed in every direction were the distinct, organized outlines of ancient buildings, perfectly aligned streets, and solemn, rectangular tombs. This was not a random collection of stones scattered by nature's indifferent hand over countless centuries of oceanic activity. The patterns were far too deliberate, the angles unnervingly perfect, and the overall urban layout too coherently organized to be anything but the work of human hands. He had quite literally stumbled upon the remains of an entire city, perfectly preserved in its silent, watery grave, as if frozen in a single moment of time. The sheer magnitude of this underwater discovery was so profound that it required 2 full years for properly funded and equipped archaeological teams to organize their first official expedition. When experts finally arrived in 1968, led passionately by Dr. Nicholas Fleming himself, the truly breathtaking scale of the Sunken settlement began to slowly emerge from the depths. They meticulously mapped a complete and surprisingly advanced urban settlement covering an estimated 100,000 square meters of the seafloor. There were wide streets laid out in an intelligent grid pattern, spacious central courtyards, elaborate family tombs, and structures that clearly suggested the presence of multiple-story buildings. The single most astonishing revelation, however, came from the careful analysis of the countless pottery fragments recovered from the silty seabed. Rigorous carbon dating techniques placed the very oldest of these artifacts at an incredible 5,000 years of age, firmly from the early Bronze Age. This definitive scientific evidence meant that Pavlopetri was officially recognized as the oldest purposefully planned submerged city ever discovered anywhere in the world. It was a thriving and sophisticated metropolis that predated the celebrated glory of classical Greece and the Parthenon by a staggering 2,000 years. The city's remarkably sophisticated and premeditated urban planning strongly suggested a highly organized society possessing unexpectedly advanced engineering and architectural knowledge. They had constructed a complex and logical network of roads that efficiently connected residential areas with public spaces and industrial zones. The clear presence of several large, imposing central buildings strongly indicated the existence of some form of centralized administration or sophisticated governance. Archaeologists also uncovered compelling evidence of a surprisingly advanced water management system, complete with strategic channels and functional drains. This previously unimaginable level of municipal planning and public infrastructure was not thought to have existed in this region for another full millennium. The city's intricate and thoughtful layout demonstrated a deep, almost modern understanding of practical urban design and sustainable communal living. But the single most pressing and haunting question remained persistently unanswered. How did this undeniably advanced city ultimately end up beneath the sea? The initial and most straightforward theory proposed that a catastrophic, region-shattering earthquake had suddenly and violently sunk the entire coastal settlement. The wider region is notoriously located near major, active geological fault lines, making significant seismic activity a perfectly plausible explanation. However, the strangely orderly and undisturbed nature of the sunken ruins directly contradicted the narrative of a sudden, violent cataclysm. There were no widespread signs of structural collapse, no massive piles of destructive debris, nothing to indicate a single, devastating event. The buildings and streets remained largely intact and in their original positions, as if the city had been peacefully abandoned and then gently submerged. This puzzling evidence gradually led to the development of an alternative theory involving the gradual, inexorable rise of global sea levels over many centuries. The definitive end of the last great ice age had caused planetary sea levels to rise significantly during that precise historical period. The Mediterranean Sea would have slowly crept upward, patiently claiming the vulnerable low-lying coastal city generation after generation. The inhabitants would have been forced to watch their beloved city slowly drowning, utterly powerless to stop the ocean's relentless advance. They most likely made the difficult decision to retreat to higher, safer ground, tragically abandoning their homes and their history to the sea. This gradual, mournful process would perfectly explain the site's remarkable state of preservation and its coherent urban layout. The calm salt water ultimately acted as a miraculous protective blanket, shielding the fragile ruins from surface erosion and subsequent human interference. Without the presence of oxygen and destructive human activity, countless organic materials were preserved in an almost miraculous state for millennia. Fragile wooden beams, intricate pottery, and even poignant remnants of daily life survived completely intact on the seafloor. In 2009, a major new 5-year excavation project was launched by a collaborative team from the University of Nottingham. They employed cutting-edge digital sonar and 3D mapping technology to create an unprecedentedly precise digital model of the entire sunken city. The stunning results revealed a settlement that was far larger, more complex, and more advanced than anyone had previously dared to imagine. They successfully identified a central megaron, which was a large, rectangular hall that served as the architectural precursor to later Greek temples. They uncovered compelling evidence of an extensive and prosperous textile industry, finding countless stone, loom weights, and ceramic spinning equipment. The significant discovery of heavy stone ancas and enormous storage jars strongly indicated a thriving and well-connected maritime trade economy. This was clearly not some simple, isolated village, but a sophisticated and internationally connected trading hub of considerable importance. Its geographical location was strategically brilliant, positioned on a beautifully sheltered bay along critically important Bronze Age trade routes. The city would have actively traded goods with other major Bronze Age civilizations across the entire breadth of the Mediterranean Sea. They likely exported valuable local products like olive oil, wine, and fine textiles in exchange for scarce metals and exotic luxury goods. This single finding alone dramatically rewrites the established history of early Mediterranean trade networks and their surprising complexity. It strongly suggests a level of economic sophistication and international connection previously uncredited to this remote historical era. The sheer variety and quality of the recovered artifacts tell a consistent story of a wealthy, stable, and culturally rich society. Intricately painted and beautifully designed pottery fragments demonstrate a refined level of artistic sophistication and vibrant cultural expression. Specialized tools meticulously crafted from imported obsidian proved they maintained extensive trade connections reaching as far as the Aegean Islands. The exceptional quality of the stonework and construction suggests the work of highly skilled artisans and a well-structured, specialized labor force. But perhaps the most haunting and emotionally resonant finds were the small, personal items left behind by the fleeing citizens. A single, perfectly preserved ceramic bowl, left abandoned on a stone surface as if its owner would return for it at any moment. Simple stone tools left scattered in sunken workshops, giving the eerie impression that the workers had merely stepped away momentarily. These humble, everyday objects create an intimate and powerful connection across the vast gulf of 5,000 years of human history. They serve as a poignant reminder that this was not merely an archaeological site, but a place where people truly lived, loved, and worked. The city's final, silent days remain its most profound and enduring mystery, a story written only in layers of stone and sediment. Why did such a successful, advanced, and seemingly resilient civilization ultimately make the decision to completely abandon its home? Was it truly just the slow, inexorable, and unstoppable rise of the sea that eventually forced them to leave everything behind? Or was there a more complex combination of environmental pressures, social upheaval, and external threats that led to their departure? Some emerging geological evidence tentatively suggests the city might have been struck by a massive tsunami, a colossal wave generated by a distant volcanic eruption. The volcanic island of Thera, located north of Crete, experienced a truly catastrophic eruption around that same pivotal time in history. This monumental eruption is historically known to have generated devastating tsunamis that obliterated coastal settlements across the entire eastern Mediterranean region. Could the prosperous city of Pavlopetri have been one of the many tragic, forgotten casualties of this ancient natural disaster? The complete and final truth may be a complex tapestry woven from threads of climate change, violent geological events, and difficult human adaptation. What remains absolutely undeniable is that Pavlopetri's dramatic discovery fundamentally and permanently changed the entire field of maritime archaeology. It provided irrefutable proof that major, organized urban centers existed much earlier in human history than scholars had previously believed. It forcefully compelled historians to completely reconsider the established timeline of human civilization and its capacity for early urban development. The city provides a uniquely pristine, frozen snapshot of authentic Bronze Age life, completely untouched by the influences of later civilizations. It is a priceless time capsule lying on the seabed, offering insights that no land-based ruin could ever hope to provide. Every single stone resting on the silent seabed is another page from a history book that we are only just now learning how to read. The ongoing exploration of Pavlopetri has consistently revealed deeper layers of mystery that fundamentally challenge our perception of Bronze Age technological capabilities and social organization. Modern marine archaeologists utilizing advanced underwater excavation techniques have uncovered evidence of a remarkably sophisticated understanding of hydraulic engineering among its ancient inhabitants. They discovered a complex system of carefully carved channels and water storage facilities designed to manage both freshwater collection and wastewater disposal. This indicates that the city's planners possessed a surprisingly advanced knowledge of public health and urban sanitation practices thousands of years ago. The architectural remains strongly suggest that many buildings featured second stories and carefully designed interior layouts for different social functions. The presence of what appears to be a central administrative complex hints at a structured form of governance and social hierarchy within the community. Furthermore, the discovery of specialized workshops dedicated to specific crafts points toward the existence of a skilled artisan class and economic specialization. The sheer variety of imported goods found at the site, including precious stones and exotic materials, demonstrates extensive long-distance trade networks. This underwater metropolis was clearly not an isolated settlement, but an integral and prosperous node within a vast Mediterranean economic system. Its strategic coastal location provided not only excellent natural protection, but also direct access to crucial maritime trading routes. The city's inhabitants would have interacted regularly with traders and sailors from diverse cultures across the ancient world. This constant exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies would have made Pavlopetri a dynamic and cosmopolitan center of its time. The architectural styles found within the ruins show a fascinating blend of local traditions and clear foreign influences. This cultural fusion is particularly evident in the decorative motifs on pottery and the unique construction techniques employed in certain buildings. The city's layout itself reflects a sophisticated understanding of urban planning principles that would not become common for many more centuries. Its organized street grid, designated public spaces, and zoning of residential and industrial areas reveal a remarkably modern approach to city design. The people of Pavlopetri likely enjoyed a standard of living and urban convenience that was extraordinarily rare for that period in human history. They benefited from reliable access to fresh water, effective waste management, and a diverse range of consumer goods from distant lands. This quality of life would have required not only wealth, but also a stable social structure and effective civic administration to maintain. The city's prolonged prosperity over several centuries speaks to the success of its social and political organization in maintaining stability. However, this very success makes its eventual abandonment and submersion all the more puzzling and historically significant. The question of why such an advanced and successful community ultimately failed continues to drive archaeological research at the site. Current theories increasingly point toward a combination of environmental factors and possibly internal social dynamics that led to its demise. Some researchers suggest that rising sea levels may have been accompanied by other ecological changes that undermined the city's agricultural base. Others propose that seismic activity might have damaged the city's freshwater sources or its vital harbor facilities over time. There is also the possibility that shifts in regional trade patterns or political conflicts gradually eroded the city's economic foundation. The truth likely involves a complex interplay of multiple factors that collectively made the location increasingly unsustainable for urban life. This is where your perspective becomes incredibly valuable to this ongoing historical investigation. What theory seems most compelling to you about why this advanced city ultimately vanished beneath the waves? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight might actually help frame the next phase of this archaeological mystery. The legacy of Pavlopetri extends far beyond its immediate archaeological significance and its challenge to historical timelines. Its discovery has fundamentally transformed the methodologies and technologies employed in the field of underwater archaeology worldwide. The precise digital mapping techniques pioneered at this site have become standard practice for marine archaeological investigations everywhere. The careful excavation and preservation methods developed here have set new international standards for underwater cultural heritage protection. Pavlopetri has taught researchers how to extract maximum information from submerged sites while causing minimal disturbance to the fragile remains. The site continues to serve as an invaluable training ground for new generations of marine archaeologists and conservation specialists. Each diving season brings new discoveries that add another piece to the complex puzzle of this sunken Bronze Age world. Recent excavations have uncovered evidence of sophisticated metalworking activities within designated industrial zones of the city. The discovery of furnaces, slag, and metal artifacts indicates that Pavlopetri was a center of bronze production and metal tool manufacturing. This finding further enhances our understanding of the city's economic complexity and its role in regional technological development. The ongoing analysis of organic remains has provided surprising insights into the dietary habits and agricultural practices of its inhabitants. Evidence shows they consumed a varied diet that included domesticated animals, wild game, and an impressive diversity of seafood and agricultural products. The presence of imported food items further confirms the city's extensive trade connections and the wealth of its citizens. Studies of the human remains recovered from the city's cemeteries are beginning to reveal details about health, lifestyle, and life expectancy. Preliminary analysis suggests the population enjoyed relatively good health and nutrition compared to other contemporary settlements. However, there is also evidence of certain occupational hazards and diseases that would have affected the ancient population. The continuing research at Pavlopetri demonstrates how much information can be recovered from properly excavated underwater sites. It stands as a powerful testament to the potential of marine archaeology to rewrite significant chapters of human history. The city's exceptional preservation provides a unique window into a complete Bronze Age community frozen in time. Unlike most terrestrial sites that have been continuously rebuilt and modified over millennia, Pavlopetri represents a single time capsule. This gives archaeologists an unprecedented opportunity to study an entire functioning Bronze Age settlement in remarkable detail. The city challenges the traditional narrative that portrays Bronze Age societies as simple or primitive in their organization and capabilities. It forces us to reconsider the sophistication and complexity of early urban civilizations in the Mediterranean region. Pavlopetri represents a missing chapter in the story of human urban development that we are only now beginning to read. Its discovery reminds us that much of human history may lie not in grand monuments, but in the submerged landscapes of our coastlines. The silent stones of this sunken city continue to speak to us across 5,000 years, telling a story of human achievement and adaptation. They tell of a people who built a remarkable civilization only to see it gradually reclaimed by the very sea that sustained them. The lessons of Pavlopetri are particularly relevant today as modern coastal cities face the challenge of rising sea levels worldwide. This ancient city serves as both a warning and an inspiration from our distant past about human resilience and vulnerability. Its story continues to unfold with each new diving season and every technological advancement in underwater exploration. The complete story of Pavlopetri has not yet been written, and future discoveries will undoubtedly reveal even more surprises. This sunken city that changed archaeology will continue to challenge and inspire us for generations to come. It stands as an eternal reminder that the greatest chapters of human history may still be waiting to be discovered beneath the waves.